less? Did you move more? What did you exactly do?
For me, immediately after I gave birth, of course, breastfeeding, because they say breastfeeding also helps with weight loss for some people. So breastfeeding, but then 1 month after giving birth, I used a waist trainer. Yeah. So I'm not a medical personnel, but this is what worked for me. Yeah. So I used a waist trainer to just snap that that stomach first of all, to just give me a boost. I never use a waist trainer for long. I usually do it for only a month. And then I would use it for like 6 hours every day, 6 to 8 hours every day. Like I wake up, put on that waist trainer for 6 hours non-stop, then get it out, and then I sleep and things like that. So I usually do that after a month because I want the uterus to first go back to its natural state. And then when I make when I make 3 months, then I start to exercise. So for my first, am I still on?
Yeah, you're on and
Okay.
audible.
So for my first, I didn't exercise too much, but I did something called portion control.
What?
Now I got into the habit of limiting the food that I would take. So I know lots of breastfeeding mothers are put on porridge, eat, drink flasks of porridge, etc. But I looked for other ways to stimulate my breast milk that wasn't porridge, because porridge can be fattening. You drink porridge and before you know it, you're like something else. So, hello?
Yes, you're on.
Okay. So I try to cut down on the porridge, especially as the baby grows older. I cut down on the porridge, look for other things that stimulate breast milk, fenugreek, Milo, like try all things that work, but I think first priority should be the child. Don't put yourself under so much pressure when you're trying to lose weight that you neglect the child's needs, but just look for alternatives if you can. Yeah. So I did a lot of portion control. So if I usually serve matoke, beans, that whole platter. You go for lunch and you just do the whole thing. I would just like remove half, even in my serving, serve with a half mindset. Then I would eat that. So in the beginning, it was hard. It was really hard, but the stomach actually adjusts, and then you find yourself eating lesser portions, and then that's how I lost weight. So waist training was the first thing I put in place, then portion control, which is very key, and then a bit of exercise. I love to dance, so I used to go for sukuma and all these dance things that really helped me. But then also another thing is drinking a lot of water. So I learned that when you drink a lot of water, you kind of the mind, you trick it that as if you're full, so that the food that you eat is a bit less. So drinking a lot of water and things like that. So that's what really helped me for the fast.
And
But
actually, what's funny before even coach, people do not differentiate between hunger and thirst.
mm,
And every time I always tell my clients, every time you feel hungry, first drink some water. If the
yes,
water you drink quenches your hunger and thirst, just know it was not hunger, it was actually a thirst. And most people actually end up eating more calories thinking they are quenching their hunger. Kumbe, it's just been, hunger, not it's been thirst, not hunger. So
mm,
people do not want to drink water.
it's hard. It's hard, but I had to learn to drink a lot of water because, of course, even when you're trying to put out the porridge, even water actually helps you promote breast milk. So when you're looking for alternatives, I try to look for so many alternatives that were not going to make me put on so much weight. Because for me, there's one thing I vowed: I will never have a big stomach. Like for me, I said many things I can't control. When I'm pregnant, I can't control my nose becoming fat. I can't control, there's so many things you can't control. But I
I know.
said, the stomach, surely this one I can manage. Let me do everything I can. So even with a second pregnancy, you find that many moms will say, let me first finish giving birth, then I'll lose weight.
Oh my
Worst
God.
mistake, because the weight keeps piling. And
Yes.
after your fourth child, you're like this big, and it's really hard to take it off. So for my second child, I still did what I did before, but I did like a 30-day exercise challenge.
Okay.
And I know when you've just given birth, it's hard. You're going through postpartum issues, the baby and all this sleep. But then I vowed that let me do a 30-day challenge. And I got a program that was really helpful. Just doing about 8 minutes of exercise every day. Don't do too much. Those things of 1 hour, what? Because when you do 1 hour, tomorrow you won't want to do. So just 8 minutes every day. Find a time, either early morning or in the evening when the baby is maybe resting or you've delegated, and do those exercises. Do those that bit of cardio, because people try to run away from cardio. They try to start with ab exercises, but you see, it won't work because you have to lose fat everywhere. And then it's actually with my second that I discovered something called Diastasis Recti, which is causing us not to lose that belly fat. It's the biggest struggle, but I didn't know about it even with my first. I only found out about it with my second. So people may be wondering, what is Diastasis Recti? This is where your abs separate. So as our growing bellies keep growing and growing, the abs kind of separate and you get like that hole, like a gap between your abs. And what that means is that even if you do crunches and all those ab exercises, if there's a gap within your abs, it's going to be very hard for that mommy push to go. You'll find people, they have lost weight, but there's still that car basto as if, and that's because of diastasis recti. So the moment I found out that I had about a 3-finger separation with diastasis. So when you check, it was about 2.5 a bit. Yeah. So when you check your abs, when you lie down and check, you find either you have 2-finger, 1. Some people can even have a fist, and that is really extreme. So don't start doing all those ab exercises before you find out if you have diastasis or not. And then you try to bridge that gap. Yeah, I've said too much. Let me first hand over to you.
I'm so happy that when you give birth as a mother, you do research about your own body. So most mothers, they don't want to read. Mothers, they don't want to make research. They just sit down and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then weight is out of control, and then they are asking gym trainers, what can I do? But then all this information is out there on internet. All these videos we put there on internet, and I'm sure you discovered that this thorough reading. You went on internet, but most people do not want to read. And all I can tell my mother is knowledge is just so powerful. It's just so powerful. And so about diastasis, so there's something that most people don't want to believe up to now. People do not want to believe that for you to gain weight, you must be eating a lot of food. No one should lie that you're going to gain weight when you're not eating enough food. That can never happen. You must be eating more than what you're burning. If you eat 2,000 calories today and you only expend 1,000, just know that 1,000 has gone into storage. So no one should lie you like, oh my God, I'm gaining so much weight and I'm not eating enough. Yes, you might not be eating enough, but then whatever you're eating, you're burning less of that. So that one, you should have it, number one. And the reason why most people gain weight during pregnancy, number one, is they taking extra calories. So as they taking extra calories, remember they reduce on their activity level. They need enough rest. Some of them are even having sleepless nights. They have pelvic pain. So first of all, lack of sleep itself contributes to weight gain, and now then you're snacking a lot. So that's how most people come up with all this kind of weight. But then there's also thyroid stress that you have no control over, your progesterone hormones and others, you have no control over that. So whatever you don't have control over it, just leave it. Whatever you have control over, please work on it. But then one thing you have to understand is that as a pregnant mother, it's natural that you're going to gain weight. Even if you're not eating enough, you are going to gain weight because your body knows, hey, there's someone I'm nurturing inside there. They need to eat. You see, when you're pregnant, your body does not pause that, let me wait for you, you eat, whatever you eat, it's what I'm going to feed the baby. No, your body has to make you gain all that fat so that your baby is safe. So that when you don't eat, your baby can still feed. if there's a period of hunger, your baby cannot starve. I have my women in the village. Some of these women, they go maybe days without food, some of them, but then
Yeah.
they produce healthy babies because the body knows how to handle that. And that's why it's natural that as a woman, you're going to gain weight when you get pregnant, whether you're eating a lot or not. So some people, they say, oh my God, I need to eat a lot so that my other baby can also get enough
Eating
food.
for two.
Eating for two, but it doesn't actually work that way because evolution is very, very, very important. I mean, we all don't know how it happens. God is just so amazing. It's natural that as a woman, you must preserve some fat that is going to feed the baby. And the extra calories to feed the baby, most of them, of course, they come from the fat that you have already stored. So
Yeah.
do not always worry. And then most of them, even after giving birth, they think they need to eat a lot so that they can get all this breast milk and, but you end up eating more than what you really want. And some of the foods they're eating, they're not really important when it comes to the manufacture of breast milk. They're eating a lot of unhealthy foods, sugary foods, a lot of salty foods, and all these, they are nowhere close when it comes to the production of breast milk. So really, I think it's just the knowledge gap that exists around
Yeah,
there.
I hear you, but also being pregnant and having gone through even all that, it's hard. It's really hard. You get this hunger that an apple is not going to feel. Even if you
And
ate a whole pineapple, like what I'm going through right now, I'm at a stage where the hunger is so crazy. I eat an apple and it's like just disappears. Like there's a hole somewhere. But when you eat like rice, there at least it sits and then you feel so much better. So I get that, but sometimes our bodies are demanding for so much that
yes, and now that's where it comes. You see, you're eating an apple right now. There's also why you're eating an apple, why you didn't get a chocolate. You understand? And they know that even when you're pregnant, the foods you're choosing, they have to be healthy foods. Let them be like low caloric dense foods, like an apple, like what you've eaten. It has a few calories, but then it is so filling compared to a chocolate or a burger or any other snack that you're going to get. So what I'm saying is, yes, there's all this hunger, but how are you managing your hunger? So instead of, fixing your hunger with all these salty foods, sugary foods, beverages, pick out those healthy, high fiber content foods and then fix your hunger. Because I know hunger really strikes. I've been hungry before, I know how it feels. But then
you don't know this one. This one is too much.
this one, and that's why I wanted someone who has an experience in this.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
haven't been this. I will never go through this. So I'm thinking instead of snacking with a donut, snack with an apple. You see, one apple has around 100 calories. Has around 50 calories and 100 grams. But one donut has around 400 calories and then has the same grams as an apple. So it's
I
actually
know.
4 times more
But
than an apple.
you
So
see, what I'm saying is I'm eating this apple, but I'm still hungry. Like I'm eating it like, eh? But it doesn't feel. It's like it's doing nothing for me. Yeah. So even if I ate a whole bowl of pineapple or whatever, it just is not working. There's this hunger that just gives you, and bread can fix it because it's more filling somehow. So I hear you. Of course, yes, the knowledge is important, and that is why I'll sneak in an apple here and there. But sometimes you are dying of hunger, and something which is heavier is the one that's going to kind of get you feel relieved. So I understand pregnant
and,
women or
and I'm told that when you're pregnant, you have specific foods which really fix your hunger.
yes,
So like every food can actually fix your hunger. If it means
exactly.
if it means climbing the mountain and then look for this specific food, you have to do so that you get it.
Yes, that's so true. Your body can refuse. Like sometimes I'm eating something and it's not working. Like you feel like you want something else. So sometimes, yeah, there are those cravings. Then sometimes other food is just causes nausea and things like that. So I really understand when pregnant women put in things that are, not as healthy, but like, a feeling. Right now, the thing that works for me is like cereal. I eat a lot of cereal, because when I eat the cereal, I feel, yeah, it can take me like another hour. But if I eat like, now like porridge, if I try even take porridge, for me porridge even didn't work for me, because it just disappears. It's like I'm just drinking water. So you end up eating more, because you're trying to look for something that is just going to solve your hunger issue. Because if you get hungry, the nausea is going to come in, you're going to throw up, then there is bloating. Like there's so much we are going through, that choosing a healthy meal may be the last on the list.
I understand now. I understand.
Yeah.
So then there's this type of mothers that for them they know I want to get pregnant next year and have a little bit of some pounds on me that are really so extra. So they tend to plan in advance. They actually lose the weight they can before they can actually get pregnant. Have you met such kind of mothers who really think about their bodies before they get pregnant?
Yeah, they are there. Like you try to, because everyone knows when you get pregnant, you're going to put on a lot of weight. So some people try to, it's like going for a wedding. When you're going to get married, you start working out so that by the time the wedding comes, you're in shape. So even for pregnancy, that's it. Some people begin to prepare early to be in shape and be fit, so that when the time comes, you are active, it doesn't hit you as hard. So if you're like normally like us who are just sitting in offices or sitting at home, when pregnancy comes in, you become even more lazy. Like fatigue gives you, and then you just can't do anything. I've been trying to exercise since I got pregnant, but you just wake up and say, how am I going to do this? And you're like, let me just sleep, because you are tired. But people who are more active, it also helps. I hear it helps some people be, you don't get as much nausea and things like that. But especially for like the first trimester, it's hard. And they usually say, try and rest, try and get a few walks here and there as you wait for some energy to kick in the second trimester and things like that. But it's hard. So if you're fit, it's even better.
Let's talk about exercise during pregnancy briefly. Because I understand if you've been doing like your cardio before pregnancy, or when you get pregnancy, there's some exercises that you have to, wipe out. So do you even see gynecologist before you start on your exercise, or some people just jump in, hey, I'm pregnant, but I want to continue with my exercise routine?
Yeah. It's safer to, of course, consult your gynecologist, because every pregnancy is different. Some pregnancies are more at risk. So you shouldn't just better you first do some research before you just jump into exercise, because you end up doing things that are so strenuous, and then you can either lose the child, or things like that. So always consult your guide, your doctor, but get exercises that are tailored for pregnant women. But still, always ask your doctor, because some people are at risk for miscarriages or hard pregnancies, and they advise them to just rest. So always consult. Don't just jump into any exercise that you see because you want to get fit. And also, one thing I've learned is to listen to my body. If I am tired, I stop. Whether the trainer on the other end is still going, what these people do the exercise every day. So for you, you've come first time, you want to match their pace. You're like, oh my God, I'm not, and then it can stress your body. So listen to your body, try and be active. I know it's hard. I'm struggling as well. But the second trimester is always so much easier. So you can push in maybe more exercises then. But always, of course, talk to your doctor. Yeah.
So still during the stage of pregnancy, at what stage does really hunger come in and you can
Almost immediately in the first trimester, because the body is producing, it needs a lot of energy to make this baby, to form this baby. That's the biggest process. Like it's the critical process. The organs are growing, the limbs, the fingers, all this is happening in the first trimester. So you need a lot. Hunger is crazy. Right now I'm hungry, and not just hungry, like you feel this hunger is too much. So hunger kicks in as soon as development starts, you begin to feel more hungry than usual. So yeah.
Pregnancy goes on, people will tend to, there's something we call gravidarum, especially people who tend to, their bodies cannot cope up with certain foods. They have this excessive vomiting and all that they can't handle. You find mothers like almost a whole trimester, she's going through chronic stress, she's not sleeping, and of course you're eating at the same time. And like I said, lack of sleep is the major contributor of weight gain. So has it happened to you before? Have you struggled to get enough sleep while you are pregnant?
Yes, for me, it usually happens in the first and maybe last trimester. So first trimester, because you're waking up too much to go use the toilet, because for some reason the bladder, maybe I think the baby is pushing down on the bladder, so you keep having to go, and then you're kind of adjusting your sleep arrangement, because when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to sleep on your back, and then you can't sleep on your tummy because the boobs are sore, but then also the belly. So it's all those adjustments that can cause you to lose sleep. And also so many dreams, like in the first trimester, you get so many dreams. You're here, and then the next minute you're this, like it's so real and vivid, and then you keep waking up, and then there's pelvic pain.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's
mm, mm.
I know.
This one, pelvic pain can start from late second trimester all through to the last trimester. You literally, as you turn, the pain is excruciating. As you stand to walk, deadly. As you walk to the toilet, as you, like, the pelvic pain is so much. So sleep really does reduce sometimes, for some people, not all. Personally, I had a lot of, I think it was pelvic something something